On a gentle spring morning, as the first cherry blossom petals drifted lightly onto the wooden roof of the rustic cottage 2 hours from downtown Riverwood, Elena Ramirez awoke to the warm sunlight streaming through the antique window. Every ray of light cast dancing patterns on the worn wooden floor, illuminating the dozens of colorful threads wound neatly in baskets beside the embroidery frame. From childhood, Elena had lived with her grandmother, Sophia, a woman of remarkable resilience and kindness. Sophia's hands, though slightly tremulous with age, still guided Elena's fingers through each intricate stitch, teaching her not only the technique of raised embroidery but also the importance of patience and intention. A stitch without heart, her grandmother would say, is merely a puncture of fabric. Elena stretched beneath the quilt, inhaling the faint scent of jasmine tea that always lingered in their home. Memories of bygone years flooded her mind, childhood laughter echoing through the garden as she chased butterflies, and evenings spent listening to Sophia's softly spoken tales of wartime hardship, of her first love with Elena's late grandfather, and of the belief that a steadfast spirit could overcome any storm. Now in her final year of high school at Riverwood Preparatory, Elena split her days between tending to her grandmother's needs and pursuing her artistic passion. Mornings were devoted to classes, afternoons to exhibitions and commissions, and evenings to the comforting rhythm of her embroidery frame. Successes, like the glowing reviews from art patrons online, brought her fleeting joy, but true contentment always awaited her at home, thread and needle in hand. One dusky afternoon, as she painstakingly traced the outline of a crane poised mid-flight on ivory fabric, the roar of an engine shattered the quiet. Elena looked up to see a sleek green Lamborghini racing down the narrow country lane, a vehicle she instantly recognized as the emblem of the Richter family fortune. Behind the wheel was none other than Gabriel Richter himself, the celebrated American racecar driver and sole heir of the prestigious Richter International. Elena had first glimpsed him at her grandmother's charity exhibition in the City Museum, his tall, athletic frame and calm, calculating gaze captivating everyone around him. Yet, fate did not bring them together under the bright lights of banquets and galas, but in the darkest of circumstances. Later that same day, sirens wailed down the quiet road. Gabriel's younger brother, Marcus Richter, on a reckless joyride in Gabriel's car, had crashed violently. Glass shards from the impact pierced Sophia's leg as she crossed the street, causing her to collapse. Elena's scream echoed as she rushed to her grandmother's side, tears blurring her vision as she saw Sophia's limp form on the scorching pavement. At dawn the next day, Riverwood remained shrouded in a thin veil of mist as Gabriel arrived at the old Riverside training circuit. He donned his racing suit and helmet with mechanical precision, while his chief engineer, Leo, called out instructions through the radio: front tires at 2.2 bar, rear at 1.9 bar. Optimal for these temperatures. Gabriel gave a curt nod. The engine roared to life, a thunderous growl that quaked the platform beneath his feet. He slipped into the cockpit and tightened his harness. With a final adjustment of mirror and steering, he released the clutch and was gone in a burst of speed. Spectators in the stands, including Elena, invited by the museum's charity committee, watched enthralled. Clad in a flowing dress, she noticed every detail: the car's aerodynamic curves shimmering in the morning light, Gabriel's hands deftly maneuvering the steering wheel, and the faint smile that played on his lips as he navigated each chicane. 3 laps later, Gabriel crossed the finish line first, emerging from the car sweaty but triumphant. He removed his helmet, his dark hair clinging to his forehead, and scanned the grandstands. For a split second, their eyes met, Elena's wide with curiosity, Gabriel's filled with an unfamiliar warmth. But the moment of connection was shattered by the blare of sirens calling from the medical center at the track's edge. Sophia had been rushed there, she had regained consciousness but remained in critical condition. Elena, heart pounding, followed the rushing paramedics into the sterile corridor, her bag swinging with every step. Within the fluorescent-lit emergency ward, Elena found Sophia's frail figure surrounded by beeping machines and white-coated doctors. Torn CT scans revealed that shards of glass had lacerated her pelvic region, threatening severe internal bleeding. The surgeon's grave tone left no room for hope without immediate surgery. Tears streaming, Elena clutched a half-finished lotus embroidery, her last gift to her grandmother, whispering, "Grandma, please wake up." Gabriel appeared at her side, guilt etched in his features. I'm so sorry," he stammered. "I never imagined," his voice broke. "Let me be here for you both." For 6 tense hours, the surgeons battled to save Sophia's life. Outside the OR, Elena's knuckles whitened around her embroidery hoop as she prayed, while Gabriel paced quietly, racked with remorse. When the head surgeon finally emerged, his face softened. "She's stable. We did all we could." Elena sobbed with relief, and Gabriel offered the only comfort he could, a steady embrace amidst the sterile walls. 1 week later, Sophia was transferred to a recovery ward, her spirit slowly rekindling. Elena brought her portable embroidery frame to the hospital, seeking peace in familiar stitches. Unexpectedly, Gabriel arrived carrying a bouquet of lavender-scented candles, Sophia's favorite. Elena looked up, conflicted. "I don't want to feel indebted." Gabriel set the candles gently on the bedside table. "I care about Sophia, and I care about you. Let me help." Reluctantly, Elena accepted. Over cups of chamomile tea, they shared stories, of childhood dreams, of racing's adrenaline, of threads weaving lives together. When Elena suggested they remain friends, Gabriel nodded with a hint of relief. "Friends," he agreed, "for as long as it takes." Back at Sophia's needle, Elena's modest embroidery atelier, a call from the Riverwood Police Department shattered her fragile calm. Detective Moreno informed her that Marcus Richter faced charges of reckless driving and grievous bodily harm, and that the Richter family had attempted to suppress the case using their influence. Elena's heart clenched. She confronted Gabriel, voice trembling. "They tried to bury the truth. My grandmother nearly died." Gabriel's face hardened with resolve. "It ends now. I'll fund an independent legal team, gather evidence, including telemetry from the car, and testify under oath." Days turned into nights as Gabriel and his lawyers worked tirelessly. Elena assisted by retrieving surveillance footage from neighboring shops. On trial day, Gabriel took the stand, presenting unrebutted data showing Marcus's excessive speed and lack of proper licensing. The court found Marcus guilty, a suspended sentence and a restitution order to cover Sophia's medical bills. Elena wept tears of relief, hugging Gabriel outside the courthouse. Yet a cold ache remained, her trust in his family had been deeply fractured. In the quiet of her workshop, Elena embroidered a lotus bloom on black silk, each stitch infused with pain and betrayal. Gabriel knocked gently, offering her Sophia's own hand-stitched lotus, a symbol of new beginnings. "Please," he whispered. "Give me time." Elena's eyes softened but remained guarded. "Time," she echoed. Gabriel nodded, determination shining in his gaze. "I'll wait as long as it takes." 5 years later, Riverwood was acclaimed for its cultural revival. Elena's Sophia's Needle had expanded into a cooperative of artisans, showcasing traditional and contemporary embroidery at her grand gallery on Main Street. On opening night, as chandeliers cast golden light over her works, Elena wore a custom gown embroidered with silver lotus petals. The crowd's applause echoed through the hall. Unannounced, Gabriel entered, this time in a crisp linen shirt and tailored trousers, no longer racing full-time but championing charitable causes. He carried white lotus blooms wrapped in silk. Their eyes met across the crowd. Elena offered a polite smile and Gabriel approached, respectful distance maintained. He guided her through each exhibit, praising her evolution as an artist. After the gala, Gabriel invited Elena to the Riverside Cafe where they first spoke. She agreed, 1 hour only. Under lantern light by the river, Elena recounted her lingering pain over the Richter family's initial cover-up. Gabriel listened, then shared how he had relinquished his position as heir apparent to focus on social impact, founding scholarships for accident victims, funding rehabilitation centers, and organizing free craft therapy workshops. Moved by his sincerity, Elena felt old walls crumble. Yet their moment was shattered when Marcus, a man still bitter, burst into the darkened atelier, brandishing a stone. "If you too can find happiness, then you'll suffer," he spat. In the rain-streaked atelier, Gabriel positioned himself between Elena and Marcus. "Stop, Marcus," he said. "Hate only breeds more pain." Marcus faltered, guilt eclipsing anger. Tears mingled with rain as he dropped the stone. Gabriel embraced his brother and then Elena, forging a fragile peace under flickering candlelight. 1 year later, on the anniversary of their fateful meeting, Elena and Gabriel stood before the new Lotus Garden at Riverwood Hospital, flanked by Sophia and a reformed Marcus. Amid blooming white lotus blooms and the dawn's gentle glow, Gabriel knelt on one knee and presented a ring. Elena's tears of joy glistened in the morning light. "Yes," she whispered, "1,000 times yes." Applause rose from hospital staff and townspeople who'd watched their journey. The garden's lotus petals seemed to dance in celebration, encapsulating a story of art, speed, justice, and enduring love, a legend forever woven into the fabric of Riverwood.